I'm going to talk about the ultraviolet catastrophe. So at the end of the 19th century, scientists were pretty smug in believing that they had figured out how the universe worked. At least they understood the basic principles, and if anything new came up, they'd be able to work it out from these principles. They already understood gravity, electricity, mechanics, and they felt good about this. In the year 1900, two guys, Raleigh and Jeans, did an experiment where they were measuring the radiation coming from a black body cavity. And they discovered that at higher frequencies, the amount of energy they were measuring was much less than what was predicted by classical physics. So this is called the ultraviolet catastrophe. They were very surprised to see that there was a big hole in their understanding of how things worked. So it didn't take long for Max Planck to come up with the idea that maybe energy was quantized. And Einstein and Boltzmann expanded on this idea to actually come up with an equation that correctly predicted the distribution of energy coming from a black body. And Einstein further developed this to say that, maybe this idea of quantization is not just a mathematical nicety, but that these energy quanta actually exist. And he wrote a paper in 1905 on a photoelectric effect that proved that, in fact, energy is quantized, and we call these quanta photons. So from that beginning till 1925, we had Erwin Schrödinger write his famous Schrödinger equation, which explains how a quantum system changes over time, which is a pretty good understanding of how quantum mechanics works. So to me, I think this is a really short time to make a huge amount of progress, right? We went from the, oh my God, ultraviolet catastrophe, we know nothing, to having a pretty solid understanding of how everything worked in only 25 years. That's a really short amount of time. So there's some really smart people that were working on this. I will leave you with this photograph. This is from the 1927 Solway Conference. And the title on this picture is "The Most Intelligent Photo Ever." And the reason for that is that of the 29 people in this photograph, 17 of them won Nobel Prizes, including Madame Curie, the only woman here who won the Nobel Prize twice.